Alright, so I figured that we'd do an update on the Sunfire build series.
Beg my weld job.
Yeah, Adam was on the welder today. This is the rear bumper.
That's a rear bumper.
Yep. Rear bumper off of a 2006 Grand Caravan with stow and go. These bumpers are only available on the stow and go models, and they're surprisingly hard. Very, very hard bumpers. So if you're running a show that you're only allowed to run compact bumpers or appropriately sized bumpers, these are the bumpers to go with. And then we have the L brackets on the hood. So yeah, L brackets welded onto the hood, and then you just put a bolt through here. I can show you an example when the car is completely done. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. So on a 90-degree angle, a whole bunch of holes in it. And make sure that I don't take Dennis out. Bring it down to the appropriate length and just cut it wherever you want to cut it, however long you want it. Weld it all down there, throw a bolt through there, and Bob's your uncle. Still going to run some 3/4 inch threaded rod coming up through the rad saddle on this thing. And I figured I will show you guys how to set up the rads on these things. Okay, so at the corner of the rad, there's going to be 2 mounts held in by 10mm bolts. So that mount there, that mount there. So what we're going to start doing is removing those 2 10mm bolts. Adam, you have the honors. You have to take off the 2 10mm bolts to pull this fascia off. It's pretty simple, and don't worry about bending it when you pull it back either. So we'll find the 10mm again, which is, wow, that was easy. It's never that easy right here. And now grab a Sawzall. Once you pull off those brackets, you're going to be left with this. And as you can see behind there, if this rad ever gets pushed back, it's going to catch on this nipple here and completely tear it off. And once the nipple does get cut off, then this whole plastic assembly here breaks, and there goes your rad. We're going to grab the Sawzall, and then we're just going to cut these 2 nipples off flush. Okay, now with those 2 cut off, come down and look at your AC lines, and since we're not going to be using air conditioning, we can cut those off. Make sure that you have the air conditioning system professionally, because it's not good when you cut a line and it just goes psst.
It's not like you're not running a car with no cat, no nothing, full of antifreeze and oil.
So we're going to go ahead and get the air conditioning system out of here, because that is pretty close to your alternator, and once this car starts to bend, that's not going to have a problem going into all your pulleys, and it just makes a mess. So we'll get all that stuff out of there. Alright, so we got the air conditioning lines all pulled out. Actually a lot of room that we have now, a lot of room for clearance for everything. Now we're going to take an old car seat, which is fairly convenient considering you're taking many of the seats out of the car anyway. We're going to cut the cloth off of it to get some of the foam, and then once we get the foam, we're going to stuff it in the rad. So, alright, Adam just finished getting the foam out. We have another piece of foam over there. Okay, so we got the rad stuffed with all the foam. With these straps down here, oh, get out of the light here. They're just crossed in to each other and just strapped in, and this keeps the rad nice and tight against the foam. That just holds in the rad fan as well, so it's not going to be flopping all over the place. So that's pretty much it for the front end on this. Like I said, I'll throw in some 3/4 inch shredded rod going up through the rad support to the hood. The bumper's on, the rad's finished. We're just in the process of running the cables and the fuel lines right now. There's a separate video on my channel if you guys want to check that out of how I run them. I'm going to be using rubber lines on this car instead of the steel. Once again, just kind of a quick build just to throw everything together. And this thing will be running tonight. Bring the ass end in and start building the trunk of it. So that's build update number whatever it is. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.